Total knockout. 100 MAGA versus 1 fact. If you think the Pope is Marxist, just wait until you hear about the Jesus guy. Take your time. Hey MAGAs, which one of these images best describes a break-in? The one on the left or the one on the right? Take your time. It's so crazy how the prices are slightly higher crowd from last year did a complete 180 into maybe you shouldn't own as much if you can't afford it territory. Cassocks are red, conclaves are dope. Wake up babe, we got a woke Marxist Pope. What mental age do you think Trump would end up being? Idea. Estimate Trump's mental age by explaining why trade deficits don't mean other countries are taking advantage of us to younger and younger children until you hit the age where they can't understand it. Somebody should be explaining the concept of mental deficits to his supporters. Well, yeah, but they'd need to understand anything to begin with. It's hard to say what age an insane person is at. JD Vance is wrong. Jesus doesn't ask us to rank our love for others. New Pope already upholding the only tradition that matters. Shitting on JD Vance. Welker, do you agree that everyone who is here deserves due process, citizens and non-citizens? Trump, I dunno, I'm not a lawyer. Welker, the Fifth Amendment says as much. Don't you need to uphold the Constitution? And Trump, I don't know. Ugh, that gives me a lot of hope. He should have then read him the oath of office and asked the question again. Do you know who is a lawyer? Kamala Harris. She probably would have been a better president also. Probably? Anyone else notice how all of a sudden no one's eating our cats and dogs anymore? No one's performing sex change operations in schools or aborting babies after birth anymore. The price of eggs doesn't matter, and a recession isn't a bad thing. It's just a necessary growing pain. I'm still waiting for these Venezuelan gangsters or whatever to be booted out of the country, right? So far it's mums, American citizens with cancer, oops, and students protesting Gaza genocide. Oh yeah, don't forget letterboxes. Oh nah, Texas still hasn't forgotten that stupid shit. The Texas legislature is trying to pass a furry bill. So when did furries have the habit of pissing in litter boxes? I don't think I caught that memo. And hey, if you don't piss in litter boxes, you should totally like and subscribe, because according to YouTube statistics, most of you aren't. So if you want to support this gay guy reading stuff, you should totally press that button. While wearing a dress, no less. Yesterday, Robert Prevost asked everyone to start calling him by a different name, and they did. No outrage or shaming over this request. You see how easy it is to honor other people's benign wishes? His Holiness now uses the pronoun His Holiness. Shadow the Hedgehog's pronouns are Shadow and Hedgehog. You will now refer to Shadow as Shadow and Hedgehog alone. But why is Betty dead naming His Holiness? His name is Leo XIV, shaking my head. Or Holy Father. They are not just arresting elected officials, they're not even saying where they're being held. So that's not fun. Alina Habba tells Fox News that Newark Mayor Raz Baraka was arrested and is being held in a secret location right now. Yeah, that totally seems legal. Martha McCallum, so where is he being held? I'm not gonna speak to that right now, but he's obviously in New Jersey. Wait, what is that headline about Democrats apparently storming a building? Is that just totally made up bullshit now? Oh no, you see, it's so they can push a justification for shooting and killing protesters by arguing that protests should be seen as storming or trying to break into a place being protested against. Trump wanted the military to start gunning down citizens for protests last time. So yeah, I truly believe that he and others like Stephen Miller are coming up with some bullshit justifications to start killing those who fight back through protest. And surprise, surprise, the Congress is silent. Disgusting, naked, open, blatant corruption. Whether it's crypto, Trump media stock, real estate developments, licensing deals, or private jets, foreign governments continue to buy our presidency by bribing our criminal president. This is just nuts. Just how secure is this temporary Air Force One going to be? Is the government of Qatar going to be able to eavesdrop on security briefings, etc.? Yeah, my first thought. That jet is going to be bugged to hell and back. Why bug when you can simply buy secrets? 'Cause I mean, the art of the deal after all. See, no, the bug is the Qatari servant that comes as a bonus, who our idiot-in-chief will then give top-secret clearance to so he can still get his Big Mac and Diet Coke during briefings. One thing no one has explained is why women's rights should vary by state, while men keep the same rights across the entire country, no matter where they live. Don't Americans have equal protection under the 14th Amendment? Misogyny as policy treats women as less than. There is no law that controls a man's body, so now do the same for women. Equal protection is the law. I mean, it's explained pretty easily. Conservatives got control of the government, and they hate women. Among, of course, many other categories of people. What, you wanted an explanation that made sense? Sorry, hatred doesn't make sense. But it's all conservatives have ever had. I wouldn't just accept the answer of hatred, but yes, it's hate, but you need to understand why. It is their emotional reaction to not being able to deal with their own insecurities. That is it. Once you realize that, all of their toxic masculinity fades away, and you just see a bunch of cowards trying to legislate an advantage because they're scared they couldn't compete otherwise. That's why they're trying to get rid of DEI, by the way. And also, obviously, to discriminate against a lot of people. If they just went ahead and realized nothing needs to be a competition, then we could just move on. And yes, this does seem to be primarily a conservative thing. Republicans don't care about the law. Under the Annual Appropriations Act, lawmakers are permitted to enter any facility operated by or for the Department of Homeland Security used to detain or otherwise house aliens. The law is clear that members of Congress are not required to provide prior notice of intent to enter a facility. Lutnick. The president is going to keep significant tariffs on China. That's his expectations. 30% is where it came out on Liberation Day. That's the studied number. He may put it up higher though. So it went from 145% yesterday to 80% this morning to 34% tonight. What a bunch of clowns. We are a laughingstock to the world. And hey, justifiably so. Liberation Day? The only thing they're liberating is the money from people's wallets. Keep in mind, poor people's wallets. I think the rich are somehow gonna come out of this in fine style. Step 1, bankrupt Main Street America with tariffs on everything they use for their businesses. Step 2, wait for these businesses to become distressed assets. They become desperate and face bankruptcy, or see it in the horizon. Step 3, the big boys buy those small businesses or simply wait for them to die to become the default. And Step 4, oligarchy maximized. Basically, they're doing what Walmart did to plenty of small towns. Move in and kill everything around it, leaving only Walmart left. By doing so, money in communities gets exfiltrated to wealthy share owners instead of being circulated around the community for community benefit. US businesses look at you as an ATM and nothing more. The words they choose would be so overwhelmingly cringy if it weren't so authoritarian adjacent. Liberation Day, Victory Day, all those amazing and patriotic days of destroying the economy. The way we were treated at Delaney Hall was almost unbelievable. ICE shoved me, manhandled Rep Bonnie, and arrested Mayor Baraka. They disrespected us and tried to stop us from conducting the oversight we are elected to do, but we'll never back down in our fight for what is right. Ugh, stop giving MAGA ideas. Huffman, why not go all the way? We know that's where it's heading anyway, since everything is in service of one man's fragile ego. So why not rename the entire planet Planet Trump? Republicans want to put him on a $500 bill, carve him into Mount Rushmore, name highways after him, name an airport after him, etc. Might as well change New Mexico into New Trump. They wear gold lapel pins of his face on their collar. They make statues of him. They want to make him Pope. They write books where he is king. In my opinion, Hitler wasn't even this praised. Right? Like, my grandmother was 13 at the end of the war, and she grew up with all the Nazi propaganda possible. Swore everlasting loyalty to him on April 20th, 1945. And even she'd ask people to tone it down. But hey, my grandmother was successfully deprogrammed after the Nazi propaganda was stopped by the Russians and the Americans. A heroin addict is trying to end the Narcan program? Ugh, beyond shameful. Narcan isn't just for addicts. It's for your friend whose drink got spiked, your toddler who picked up the wrong thing at the park, your teen experimenting, your spouse in a dark place, your grandparent who forgot they already took their meds. Not everyone who needs Narcan is an addict. And even if they are, so what? Narcan and insulin both save lives. Both should be free. Stop the fake debates and save lives. I worked for a few months in my city to advocate for safe use or disposal sites and providing Narcan to all first responders. The amount of pushback from churches was absolutely insane. A lot of not in my backyardism and judgment about whether we should help these people. Yeah, I guess we just didn't take empathy for my fellow man into the 21st century. Fed up, at one point, I asked if we should also consider prohibiting first responders from providing life-saving care at DUI accidents, as this encourages drunk driving. That didn't go over well. I'm frequently in bad areas, so I always have a minimum of 2 Narcan sprays on me. I haven't had to use any, but I carry it with me regardless. A public record of corruption. Just a reminder, the annulment clause exists, and Congress could use it to impeach the moron and end the national nightmare at any point. They should all be considered complicit in the destruction of our rights. Trump's meme coin blockchain is an immutable public record of corruption and bribery. The fart of the deal. Tariffs before Trump's deal, and tariffs after Trump's deal. 2 times higher taxes on Britons, and 3 times higher taxes on Americans. The fart of the deal. A few more victories like that, and Americans will be growing food in their backyards and sewing their own clothes by candlelight. Started my own garden upon the news that Trump got elected, and I already sew. Candlelight will come round eventually, I'm sure. Does anyone remember that? I see a lot of conservatives thanking Trump for keeping boys out of girls' locker rooms. So here's a friendly reminder that this is the same guy that bragged about lurking and peeping on naked female contestants at his beauty pageants. Pass it on. But like, how the fuck is this man in office? MAGA selective application. The Fifth Amendment was written in a different time. The founders couldn't have imagined this many illegal aliens in this country. Okay, so using that logic, shouldn't we just ignore the Second Amendment because the founders didn't know about assault weapons and school shootings? If we're ignoring due process, can we just lock Trump up for his dozens of felonies? I mean, if we're ignoring due process, we can lock Trump up for no reason at all. The thing is, he got due process and convicted of those felonies, so yeah, he should and could 100% be locked up legally. It has started. The meltdowns are in full swing already. The MAGA freakout over the Pope is underway. And yeah, all of the MAGA slop pages are in that screenshot. They can't help but shill dear leader. There's just never a, wait, are we the baddies? Moment for this blithering idiot band. No, they're never the baddies. They could be standing on a mountain of innocent corpses and still insist that they were in the right. Trump could blow sweet old Gammy's brains out all over Times Square on national TV because she said one slightly negative thing about something he had done, and his cult would immediately start spinning Gammy as a socialist, communist, anti-American, child blood drinking demon. I've said it since before he got elected the first time. They will eat their young before they betray their orange dump of a god figure. Cause, yeah, it's kind of a cult. It's not even political anymore. Tomorrow's headline, Trump excommunicates Pope, and Catholic MAGA applaud. Are we taking bets on how long it is before Trump announces a trade war with the Vatican? Or until Trump excommunicates the new Pope? On that note, are we just going to overlook how many Catholic MAGA are putting Trump above their literal Pope? The guy their faith says has papal infallibility? Fun fact, evangelicals don't consider Catholics real Christians at all. Yeah, the feeling is largely mutual. Yup, they're too liberal. Actually, it's more literal than that. Politics has nothing to do with their perception. According to evangelicals, Catholics are polytheistic and also ritualistic. They pray to saints, have things like communion, confession, confirmation, and praying the rosary. Their veneration of Mary, whom evangelicals don't even consider a lifelong virgin, is also called into the question. They consider Catholics sort of Christian at best and heretics at worst. As a confirmed Catholic, I don't consider evangelicals to be real Christians. They are cultists at best, fanfiction writers at worst. Is it too much to hope that some 20-year-old ran the new Pope's X account and he never looked at it? Cry harder, Meg. Cry harder, baby. Pretty sure that if Jesus was to resurrect somewhere in the United States, he would be promptly arrested as an undocumented immigrant. Probably after some state charged him with unlawful fishing or alcohol production. He would immediately begin flipping tables. In the Christian Bible, Jesus is depicted as cleansing the temple by driving out the merchants and money changers who were operating there. He overturned their tables and benches, claiming they had turned his father's house of prayer into a den of robbers. This event is recorded in all 4 Gospels, though with slightly different details. The day keeps getting better. According to his X/Twitter feed, the newly selected Pope trashed Trump, trashed Vance, trashed border enforcement, endorsed Dreamer-style illegal immigration, repeatedly praised and honored George Floyd, and endorsed a Democrat. This is so bad. And yeah, profile checks out, MAGA Twitter slop channel. Trump has been affected by recent polls that only rely on CPAC polls. He's coping through the pain. Why does the axis go up to 120%? Loony Luna Luma is very, very angry that the new Pope is following the teachings of Jesus. So much Nazi rage. This is the new Pope. His name is Robert Prevost. He's the first American Pope. He's anti-Trump, anti-MAGA, pro-open borders, and a total Marxist like Pope Francis. Catholics don't have anything good to look forward to, just another Marxist puppet in the Vatican. News report, Pope Leo would be considered more moderation/centrists. He's had a history of more conservative ideology, but mellowed down. Especially since he was a friend to the more progressive, the late Pope Francis. And obviously the far-right shithead says, "This Pope is woke Marxist trash. I can't believe we have another woke Pope." If they think this guy is woke, just wait until they hear about Jesus. It's almost like they never read the book. The new Pope has a degree in mathematics from Villanova University. This guy doesn't understand sin, he understands cosine.